Alright, I just wanted to showcase one of my favorite One Piece decks of all time, Obsidian Luffy. Now, I know the fans call him BU or BP or whatever Luffy because of the colors, but originally I came from Digimon, and Obsidian is the color combination between black and purple, so I've always called him that. So let's get right into the list. Right away, for Gungam Giants. So, yes, it's a mainstay, and people, and I know the how popular and how broken people perceive this card. However, in this build, so if I go over my leader really quickly, if you don't know what he does, so he'll gain 1 cost, and whenever you return 2 or more Dawn simultaneously, not one at a time, you get 1 rested, 1 active. Well, I wanted to make a deck that would cheat out the Time Walk Luffy as fast as I can. I call it Time Walk instead of Time Warp because, again, from Magic the Gathering's iconic Time Walk spell. So got a playset of Gum Gum Lightning. My build's going to be very different than probably a typical list because I don't run the 6 cost Rusher or the one that like Hell's Judgment and stuff. I don't run those. That's fine. Gum Gum Lightnings. It gets rid of spot removal or whatever. I'm still trying to find a place for this deck, and this build is actually a lot different. Like, so people don't expect how it turns out, and I actually snuck away a few wins with it. So this is the Stir deck Robin. I love the 2K, and this is one of the best cards in the deck, honestly, because it uses effect, combines with the leaders. If you played the game, you know, you're aware of what it does. You can gain 1 Dawn active, and then it combines with Luffy's effect, so you're actually up a Dawn ahead of time. Same with this card, Zoro. So, yep, you return when you're down to the deck set. One of them is active, same thing. So you'd go down a Dawn, an active Dawn, but you'd break even with his effect. Pretty simple. I run 2 Black Maria. I used to run at 4, but that's not necessary, and that's only just because I got the idea to catch up on Dawn, because you'll see at the later part of the deck, I run the 10 cost Time Warp Luffy, so I'll minus 10 Dawn frequently, and that'll help get it. Whereas opposed to, like, if I ran Searcher Law, I run the Bandai event one, not event, but the premium Bandai Nami. So all it is 2/2. I return the deck to move rested leaders. Sorry. I return 1 or more Dawn cards from my deck and give up to 2 rested Dawn to my leader or character. It's just a quick extra 2,000 pump for attack, but most often than not, I will just use it as a shield. 2K. This is actually when I started playing the deck. This was one of my favorite cards of all time. Pudding. So whenever you turn one of your Dawn to the Dawn deck, you can get 1 rested. So you combine it with like, let's say Zoro, right? So with this guy's effect, you're up 1 Dawn. If you have a Pudding in play, you're a whole turn cycle ahead when you use this effect. So I'll try to ideally have the best hand being one of him, or any combination of him, Robin, and this Pudding. And if you do that, then you're going to be a turn cycle ahead without even trying. Got to run these 4, a 4 set of this Frankie. I don't really much, this is a very aggressive build, so I don't play a whole lot of blockers. And you'll see that this is just in case I need it, I can trash a card and draw 2 to either desperately try to grab a Giant or the Black Maria or the 10 cost Luffy. And I only will use it on these circumstances like that. Otherwise, I'll just play blocker and not use the effect. Or sometimes that's just a card I hope to draw into a Giant. Or I will pitch that card to Giant. This Dofi. So his effect is, if your leader is multicolored, you set 1 of your Dawn cards and rest it. It helps you go up a Dawn technically. So if you go first, then he'll be on even curve and do that from there. He's also okay for a blocker. 6 cost threshold. Then at 6 Dawn, this Kager Luffy, that's what I call her. Everyone calls them something else, I guess, but I'm not really active in the deck building scene, so that's why I want to do this anyway. So if you don't know what he does, it's on play and when attacking -2. If your leader is multicolored and your opponent has 5 or more done, you can set your leader's power to 7,000 until your end of turn. So yes, it goes straight with Luffy because you'll break even every time you use his effect. And because of that, well, this is what I play if I can't see my turbo Luffy, my 10 costs right away. I'll have to still say something to keep surviving, you know. So 9 cost mom. I'm debating on taking this and that in and out for other stuff, but it's okay so far. It can get rid of a problematic blocker or something like a Marco, whatever, or a Yamato, something like that. Anyway, you trash the card from your hand and you can add the top card of your top of your life and your opponent with a cost 6 to the top of their life, face up or bottom if you want to see that target last, so you can kind of play for it. You're like, oh hey, I bottom deck their blocker, I've got to beat them this turn, or I put a 2k counter in their hand. And if you notice, Luffy's a 4 life leader, but so that extra life can actually help. I pretty much do aggressive plays, like I said a few times. So the Haymaker Luffy is what I call this one. I think he's really good because when you use it with this guy's effect, you can turn one or more Dawn to your deck, and you can draw a card, and then he gains Rush. That Rush actually came in clutch a few times when I play, especially if I play this guy into this guy again the next turn. But this guy might think about actually going up to 4 of and getting rid of the 9 mom. And then my favorite card in the whole deck, and why I made this, is because the idea that taking an extra turn is so, like, it feels good when you pull it off, you know what I mean? So 10 cost, 12. I only run it at 2 though. -10. Place all your characters except this at the bottom in any order. Take a turn after this one. 1 active, mean rest the card. You get a Dawn deck and set it active. So there are times where I can get this out like on my 3rd turn. I'm not even kidding. I'll go over to the plays after a second. I didn't even cover the black cards. So I'm gonna play with black. I play a 4 negative hollow. Now it's really weird. I bet you've seen this card, but this will have a little hand control. If I go second on the 1st turn, my deck doesn't have anything in play, so I might as well just play this to rip a card out of their hand because I can attack anyway, so I might as well do something with it. But I combine this with if you can hold it or have it with the Robin at the same time. So if your leader is so it's a 6 for 7, and if your leader's called a Luffy, it gains blocker and 3 costs. You may trash 1 card from your hand. If your opponent if your opponent has 5 more cards in their hand, they trash 2. So this in tangent actually is pretty powerful. So if you can play a Robin and this on your Dawn 8 turn, you're ripping out 3 cards from their hand, potentially. Now, depending on how the game flow is or whatever, this is what I'll discard a Giant right away. Or like if I'm going in with the Rushers or something like this 9 cost Luffy, and then if I rip a card out of their hand, that will just help guarantee my success. All right. So I'll tell you how to, like, this is why I play certain cards like this. And that's the deck list. So if you wanted if that's all you wanted to see, you can come back. You can just stop watching the video, and I'll just tell you what my best optimal combo is for this card. Let me just move my cards back. And this is why I'm hesitant on playing like the Giant and stuff like that. Is because it'll be harder to get into Time Lock Luffy. But if you can get him out, you can also change his effect. So what happens is on my 10 Dawn turn, I will turn all of them back to the deck, and then I can get 1 rested, 1 active. So on my next turn, I can also pay that 1 to get an active Dawn. So I will actually be up to 5 Dawn on my next turn, and that's halfway there to recoup your losses. So hypothetically, like I'm -5, right? And then my leader's effect turns. So this is like after I get my extra turn, I'll pass turn to myself. I'll get my 2 Dawn because of this guy ending it. So on my next turn, I get my 2 Dawn, so I'll be at 4. And then I can rest 1 and get it. And I'll already be at 5. So I can play a Frankie blocker or something, or I don't know, another pudding or something like that, just to help keep gaining the value. But you can see you actually can recoup your loss pretty quickly in this deck if you don't go into like using him and stuff like that. That's why I kind of have a different ladder to go down. And where is my example? Disorganized, so professional. So if my hand consists of these ones or whatever, and then I'm on my 3rd turn, that's when it really gets going, because I'll be at 3, right? You'll pay 2. You'll use Robin. Now Robin will turn 2 back to get 1 active, and then your leader Luffy's effect will happen. So you'll get 1 active, 1 rested. So you'll actually be at 4. You'll go up 1. If you do on your next turn, right, you'll go to 6. Like, this is the in a perfect world. I don't have Bon Cray. I'm still debating on buying him and making it work, like try stuff with that or not, but who knows? Hey, so right, if I have my Robin out, then you're on Dawn 6. This is the most optimal way. So you'll pay 3 to play this pudding. If you remember what pudding does earlier, whenever you turn one of your Dawn to your deck and get it you get 1 rested. So it filters it out. So if I play a card like Zoro, I'll return 2. So pudding's going to see him return itself. So you'll get 1 back. And then Zoro's effect is going to active. So you get 1 active. And then leader is going to trigger, and you'll get 1 rested and active. So you went from 6 Dawn to 8. And that way you're a whole turn cycle ahead. And keep in mind, if you do this turn and the turn before, your opponent is going to be behind you on 2 Dawn at least. That's another reason why with the Kager, Luffy and stuff like that, I run the Black Maria at 2 of. Where'd you go? So you can just straight up ramp up to 5 Dawn, and at the end of turn you can match your opponent. It's a really interesting, fun card to play around, but at the same time it's a little risky too, because if you do it until after you get like this guy out or something, you're gonna be behind. So I mean, it's right. So if another character, if you have no other Black Maria, so it only works if you have 1 out, you add 5 from your Dawn rested until the end turn, then you return to have your own opponent. Well, if you're at 10 Dawn, and you then on your extra turn you can drop this, then you can just ramp 5 more, and then you'll get your 2, and then you can use your effect, so you'll be at least 4, and then you can ramp up to 9. So that's why I didn't want to go too all in on one strategy, because if you notice, I don't run any searchers or anything like that. And no, that's pretty much it for the deck list and like the most optimal combo in it. I do like trying to be looking at building my own decks, and rather than trying to implement my own, like copying a recipe and stuff like that, just because that's the biggest part of the appeal to this card game with me, is just playing it in general. This is so cool. I don't even watch One Piece, and I'm loving the card game. So let me know what you guys think. If you think it's an interesting build and stuff like that, I'm always up to hear what you guys have to say. All right. Thanks.